Aha, now you can hear me. So my broadcasting software, once in a while, it likes to randomly decide, I don't remember what settings you told me to use last time, so we're just gonna revert to default, and then you can reset everything every single time you go live. So that's exactly what I'm dealing with today. Yes, I have bangs today. Thank you for noticing. My bangs, because I've just kind of let my hair go. I haven't had it cut. Well, I got the back cut a little while ago, but I've just kind of let everything go, and my bangs were like down to here, maybe even longer. And the only thing I could do with them was just sweep them off to the side and pin them. So I said I'd do some bangs so I don't just go around in baby breaths on the constant. So hello, everybody. We are set up for some demos today, and we can chat, ask questions. I know it still kind of feels awkward viewing parties without actually viewing anything. So you guys can feel free to kind of run the show. I'll let you guys kind of dictate what it is that we talk about. If there's not a lot going on, then I'll kind of guide it. And we will talk about what we're doing next week, or we'll talk about it. To start out, let's kind of recap last week just a little bit. And the first thing I want to talk about, just to get it out of the way, is, and I know some of you are going to be like, yes, and some of you are going to be like, no, not again. But I want to give those of you who still may have questions about gesso the opportunity to ask me questions about gesso. If there's something that I didn't get in the blog post that I wrote. So if you ask me a question about gesso and I skip it or tell you it's in the blog post, just go read the blog post, make sure you've read that, because I covered so much information in there. It's not that I don't want to talk to you or answer your question. It's just, if it's in the blog post, let's just move on from that. So, yeah, look at the boxes of brushes. Yeah, and you can really only see half of them. So there's that one, there's another one on that side that's facing this way. And then in my living room, I have two big boxes like this, full of some more, because I just got another order in. I know that looks like a lot, but I was actually super low on some brushes. And then I just got word that some of the new brushes, this is just between us. No, I don't know which ones, but some of the new brushes have shipped. They told me on Friday they were shipping some of them. It's not the full order, and I don't know which ones are being shipped. So, yeah, at least that's some movement, right? We don't know what kind of movement, but it's some. So, no questions about gesso. All right. Either you guys all got it, or I really nailed it in the blog post.
I have a question about gesso.
Oh, Mr. Jane has a question about gesso. Are you going to come over and say hello? If you ask me what is gesso, I'm not going to answer your question because I covered it in the blog post. Go.
Anyway.
If you dance today, I swear.
No, my question is, do you have a blog post that talks about gesso in case I would like to read about it?
Did you guys really hear what he just asked me? Is that a serious question?
No. I edited it, so I should know. I'll leave you alone, though.
Yeah, he edited it, so he should note that there's a blog post about gesso in case he wants to read about it. Are you being funny?
Trying to.
He's trying to be funny.
Not succeeding.
It's a sore subject. So, okay. Yeah, just got called out on the stink eye. Oh, no challenge this month. Sorry, you guys. I haven't done very well. I know I haven't. I have not done very well this month. I apologize. Punch him. Nelson wants me to punch you.
Again?
So let's go over I will address the challenge, but let's go over some of the questions from the painting from last week real quick before we talk about anything else. And we can come back to anything you guys want to talk about. And we'll talk about next month, and we'll talk about challenges and all that fun stuff as we go along. So where is my painting from last week? Is this it? I painted this thing so many times that I don't even know if this is the real one or if this was I think this was the real one. Yes, this was the real one. Okay, so last week's painting, ta-da, yay. I hope you guys all enjoyed this. I haven't been around a lot this week. I suck, you guys. But I've seen a lot, and everything I've seen has been awesome. So I know that I still have a ton of notifications I haven't gotten through. So if you've tagged me in something and I've completely ignored you, understand that I'm not completely ignoring you. I just have not been able to get to my notifications for a few days. So I will get through them hopefully tonight and see everybody's painting. Again, this is what we did last week. I'll just kind of hit each part in kind of in order of what we did, and then we can talk about each one. So the background, I did my scrubby, smoky background technique. So I'm really interested to hear, I know that there was some discussion about that the previous week where, you know, when we used gesso, and some people were saying, you know, they see a lot of their brush strokes, or, you know, the gesso wasn't covering the gesso or whatever. So I would like to know your experience with scrubbing this background. I would also like to know who used different colors, who maybe used a completely different technique. I don't think I've seen any where the background was done completely different, like a scene or, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'm interested in hearing all about that. So tell me about your backgrounds. Also, the scrubbing technique, where a lot of people were saying, let's zoom you over to here. There were a lot of people who were saying that even with the gesso, they were getting like brush stroke marks, or, you know, being able to see their canvas through it. So like a little bit here, I've got that. And, you know, see, I zoom you in close and you can see it, but when we're looking at it at a distance, even while we were painting it, you can't really tell that's there. So first of all, I would say don't worry about it too much if you got a little bit of those kind of marks. Second of all, yeah, see, I've got more of them over here too. So second of all, if that really does irritate you and you just absolutely can't stand it, one of the things you can do, ta-da, is do an underpainting first. So kind of pick a color that, or a variation of this color that you feel like is neutral enough that it won't matter if it shows through in the dark middle or lightest areas, and just paint the entire canvas that color, and then wait for it to dry completely, and then come scrub your background. And that should kind of help that. Part of the reason that this is happening, and it's going to happen particularly the darker you go, is because the dark colors, especially burnt umber and even Mars Black, they are quite transparent. So Mars Black, it's opaque. It's going to cover anything. But when it gets thin, Mars Black is very transparent, very, very transparent. And so when we scrub the brown and the black thinly like that, even with the layer of gesso, they're so transparent that you're going to see everything. And so the darker you go, be aware. You're going to either want to scrub 2 layers of the color, or you're going to absolutely have to do an underpainting. The lighter the color is, the easier it is to cover. And I don't know if that's just because white is more opaque, or because the gesso underneath is white, so it doesn't really show as much. But either way, just remember, if you're going to do this technique and go quite dark, you're going to want to underpaint or do 2 layers of scrubbing. And if you're going to do 2 layers of scrubbing, you want to let it dry completely for probably at least 12 hours before you do the next layer to let that kind of cure. Because as you start scrubbing over top of it, even if it feels dry, you could lift it a little bit. So that's my little rant about background scrubbing. Let's see if you guys had anything that you wanted to talk about with that. Vince is talking about his beard. He's so excited that his beard is coming back. He had this gigantic, magnificent beard and then decided, oh, I think I'm going to shave my face, and immediately regretted it. So now he's really excited that his beard is coming back. Let's see. Eileen did it on ungessoed canvas pad, got brush marks, but didn't mind. Good. I like to hear that. Yvonne's done underpaint. Oh, this thing jumps. Underpainting on the last couple of her paintings and likes it. Good. Love underpainting. Deb hasn't done this one yet. What, Deb? Just kidding. She did a rainbow. That sounds like fun. I keep wanting to do a rainbow. Kelly spilled coffee on hers and you couldn't even tell. Did I use heavy body? Yeah, I used heavy body paint on this, but I didn't mention it because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I know that there's a lot of artists who say, oh, you have to upgrade your titanium white to heavy body because it's so much better. I honestly, aside from the texture, I don't notice a big difference between basics and heavy body titanium white. I like them both. But I did use heavy body here. Mostly it's because a lot of my basics are running out. And so rather than buying a color in basics that I already have in heavy body, I've just been using heavy body. So, but trust me, I will tell you guys if it matters. You know, if I'm like, you really should use heavy body for this, I'll tell you. Otherwise, if I don't mention it, it doesn't matter. Deb is sold on using gesso. Yes. I don't always use it, but man, when I need it, it's the best. Oh, thank you so much, Nelson. Need your help in getting Cindy over here for it. Cindy, go paint with Nelson. I don't know how you could resist that. I would go over there. It's a little bit of a far drive. What?
What else did you use heavy body? Did you answer that question?
Yeah, Vince, I just got done. I just got done ranting about heavy body and basics. Tiptoe helps stroke issues. Good, Gretchen. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, that tiptoe pressure, it really does help get a nice soft look between the colors. And my mom's here. Hello, Mother. When do you find you prefer basics over heavy body due to texture and thickness? I haven't really found a time where I prefer the texture and the thickness of the heavy body over basics. It really doesn't matter to me. The only thing is I've noticed that the heavy body, the pigment goes so much farther. The colors are more vibrant and they're just prettier colors overall. And colors like the cadmiums are truly opaque in heavy body where they are just not in basics. Other than that, I mean, yeah, it's a higher quality paint, but yeah, I don't really prefer one over the other, except in the cadmiums. Have to have my cadmiums in heavy body because of the opacity. Another thing I really like, I gotta show you the difference in some of the colors. You guys will be really shocked at, let's see, oh, I don't have, I think I had to throw away my, I've shown you guys before though, that one. I had to throw away the rest of my cadmium orange in basics because it was getting lumpy because I never used it. But the basics cadmium orange is really quite close to this is a cadmium red light. So the cadmium orange in basics is super red, like this one, where the cadmium orange in heavy body is this glorious, bright, that just does not look glorious at all. I must have my camera settings really strange. But it's this hot, vibrant orange, where this one's just kind of more muted and more red, and I don't really care for it. Whoa, dropping lids all over the place. So I love my cadmium orange in heavy body, and I will never use the basics one again. Another color where I think it makes a humongous difference is alizarin crimson. So I'm going to demo this one for you. This is alizarin crimson in basics. Okay, it's a nice color. It's not a horrible color at all. This is alizarin crimson in heavy body. I'm just going to put out a little bit because I don't want to waste it. Oh my, you can already tell a huge difference there. Just a much richer, deeper, it is just such a gorgeous color, that heavy body alizarin crimson. And the more that I use the heavy bodies, the more that I realize that that happens with a lot of the colors. See how this one almost looks a little bit muted, a little bit dusty, where this one's just like vibrant and dark and gorgeous. Okay, I see a couple of questions, so let's jump over there and get to your questions. We're going to have a retreat at Nelson's house. Awesome. Okay. Heather says, are cadmium paints cancer causing? Any danger using them? So that's something that a lot of people really, you know, kind of have a bug about, is the cadmium paints. From everything I've read, cadmium in a moist, sorry, I'm sure there's a lot of people who hate that word, in in a form where it is in liquid or binder suspended in something wet, is not dangerous. Supposedly cadmium is dangerous when it's in powdered form and you inhale it. That's where the danger comes in, is inhaling it. And so in cadmium paint, as far as I understand it, it cannot soak into your skin, the cadmium. But if you like paint a canvas with a cadmium paint and then sand it and breathe that in, that's when it's really dangerous. So I don't have a preference either way. I do buy the cadmium free paints, but not because I really care. It seems to me that they might be cheaper, or else I bought them anyway because I don't know why, but I just bought a bunch of cadmium free paints. But Liquitex does make the cadmium free. So they've got, I don't know if they still have the other one. They've got cadmium. They used to in heavy body, and in basics they do have a cadmium hue and then the cadmium free. And so I know cadmium hue and cadmium free sound confusing, but the cadmium hue, it's really the color of the cadmium without the other properties of it, the opacity, the vibrancy, all of that, which is why, like I said, I won't go back to basics cadmiums. So like, I'll show you here I did the video where I tested the cadmiums with the cadmium freeze, and I honestly couldn't tell a difference, you guys. I think they're just as good, but, yeah, so this is the cadmium freeze, and I've been buying these lately. See how it says cadmium free, and all of their cadmium colors come in the cadmium free. So I think as long as you're not like eating it or sanding it and breathing all of that dust in, I think you're fine. Let's see. But yeah, if you breathe it in, you're probably asking for some lung problems. When cheaper grades say cadmium hue, hue is not real cadmium. Right. Anything that says hue means I am the color that would be made if you used this element. So like cobalt, let's say. So I have my basics cobalt here. And if you notice, it says cobalt blue hue. And that means that there's no cobalt in this. So cobalt is an element and it makes blue paint. But cobalt can be toxic too. And to make a cheaper version of it, there's hue. And just because something is a hue doesn't mean that the real version is dangerous. It means the real version is probably very expensive. Some of them are probably dangerous, but so like my heavy body, it says cobalt blue. See that? It does not say hue. So there is cobalt in this paint. So that would be the difference between these two. Is this another one? The basics says this one's opaque, but I don't think it really is. This one's much more opaque. Yeah, so if it says hue, it does not have that element in it. Oh no, Shirley had knee replacement surgery. That sounds horrible. I'm glad you're back and with us and you're waiting for your cloud brush. I think yours is on its way. I think you probably should have gotten it by now, but I'll look. Shirley, I'll look at that as soon as we're done here. I think it's probably shipped. I am going to be shipping some more today, and obviously they won't go out because it's Sunday, but I'll put them in the post office tomorrow. So if you ordered anything and you haven't received it yet, you should be getting a confirmation number or tracking number from me today. So, okay, no other questions on our background. What did we do after our background? Man, I need to set the white balance on this camera. My tree looks straight up blue. So on our painting, the next part what we did was the rocks. Now I know we're gonna have some questions about rocks, so hit me with them. Let's talk rocks, because every time we do rocks, somebody has a hard time. And I understand why, because it really is quite a random process, you know. Rocks can look so different, and I don't feel like there's really a right and a wrong way. Obviously, overworking your paint is probably going to be considered a wrong way, but as far as how or where you highlight them or what type of rocks, and they're all going to take a little bit of a different technique. So throw your rock questions at me because I know we got them. Heather says, if you use heavy body, does that mean less layering required? So that depends on what colors you're using and how much you want to layer. I find that unless I'm just trying to make a transparent color super opaque, that I layer only as much as I need to. I haven't noticed that the heavy bodies mean that I need fewer layers unless it's, you know, that I'm going for opacity in a color. Kelly learned so much about rocks with this tutorial. Good. That makes me happy. I can't believe you guys aren't bombarding me with rock questions. I remember the first time we did rocks, and if anybody can tell me off the top of your head, not by going back and looking, which video it was that we first did rocks similar to this on, then you'll get like 10 extra bonus points, which will be like 10 virtual high fives from me. But the first time we did it, the community like exploded. Apparently I did not do my job in explaining it, but everybody hated me. They hated rocks, and I heard about it for weeks. So I'm always a little hesitant to do rocks again in case that happens. But yeah. Rocks are still my enemy, Nelson says. Nelson, you have a lot of enemies, I think. Best rock advice ever. Step back. Good, Eileen. I'm glad that helped. The underwater boat wreck. It was not. It was before that. It was not the Zen rocks. I guess that counts, but I was thinking rocks like this. Autumn Harvest, nope. The Ocean with the Ship, nope. Stonehenge, nope. The one with the textures and sunset, nope. It was Moon River. And you guys hated me for weeks after Moon River. So I think that either I'm getting better at explaining rocks, or you know, we've just done them a few times now, and so you guys are kind of picking it up. But yeah, either way, I'm glad that our heads don't explode when we do rocks anymore. Nelson, you still do. Come on. My mom loves how I do rocks. Thanks, Mom. Yep, see, Cindy hated the rocks on Moon River. Yep. I think I didn't really know how to explain it. Sometimes when I'm doing a technique that I feel is very random and very like on the fly, I don't really know how to explain it because I can't justify why I decided to put a mark right here but not right here, or, you know. So I am working on explaining things like that a little bit better. So hopefully that's helping. Thanks, Nelson. I heart you too. Moon River. Oh, Yvonne still cringes at the rocks in her Moon River. Oh, sad. Maybe we should redo Moon River, huh? With better rock instruction, where you can just watch the rock instruction from this one and then go do Moon River. But so I'm glad that you guys aren't like spazzing out over the rocks here, because I really thought that was going to happen again. What did we do after the rocks? We painted the green, just the base of the green. I want to hear about your guys' color combinations. Well, hello, Brian. Glad you could make it. Did anybody use a different green? So I used my black and yellow. Oh, and I do want to demo the reason that I used the Cad Yellow Light as opposed to we'll use it on the back of this canvas because it's white, as opposed to the Cad Yellow Medium. And if anybody used anything different, I want to hear about it and hear your experience with it. So that's medium. Where's my light? There it is. I'll use both Cad paints on this one. If you can't tell, I'm painting over the little canvases from the chromatic black video that we did last year. Okay. Kelly used light yellow, heavy body. Was it cadmium? I'm just curious because as far as I know, the rest of the yellows aren't opaque. Not that it matters. I'm just curious. All right, so that is, I cannot get the lid back on this one. That is yellow light, so cadmium yellow light. And these are both the actual cadmiums. It didn't say cadmium, but it was heavy body. Interesting. Was it Hansa? Hansa is a really beautiful color, and it's really similar to the cadmium yellow light, but it's not opaque. It's got just, it's ever so slightly cooler of a color than the cadmiums. In fact, I have some. I will demonstrate the Hansa with the black too. So it says Yellow Light Hansa on it. Let's put some of that out. Yeah, see, it's a little bit lighter and most definitely cooler than the cadmium. So we have Hansa, Cad Light, Cad Medium, and let's put out some Cad Deep. I just want to show you, it's not always going to be, this is a little color theory for you. It's not always just going to be black and yellow make green. That's not always the case. So if anyone can tell me why black and these two colors might not make great yellows, then you'll get another 20 bonus points. Okay, some black. Let's talk amongst yourselves and see if you can figure out why these two would not make great greens with the black, and we will address that when I'm done here. Okay, so let's start with our Hansa. I'm going to grab some black, move over here. It's a really soft green, but not bad at all. I like that. I don't usually use my Hansa because I think that unless you're using heavy body, you probably have no idea what that is. It's not one of the colors that they make in basics. So that's why I don't use that one a lot in videos. Okay, this is the Cad Yellow Light. Really pretty green. I think I mixed a little extra yellow in there than in the Hansa one. That is my favorite green ever. I think it's such a good natural color. For a landscape, that is my go-to green. I just feel like it's so much more natural looking than any other green. And we'll just get a bit of black here. This is our Cad Yellow Medium. Not such a beautiful green. I mean, it greens a little bit, but it's just a little bit more muted. Depending on what kind of a landscape you're doing, it could be okay. A little bit more black and Cad Yellow Deep. And we still get a fairly decent green, but it's not, none of them are as vibrant as these first two. So let's see if anybody got it. Why do they not make as nice of greens as the first two? Gwen says because they don't have green blue tones. Eileen says because they have more red in them. More red from Nelson. Yeah, it's the red. So, you know, man, we could go down a color theory rabbit hole. Do you guys want to? I'll leave that up to you. Because I have a really cool trick I can show you. How to make blue. That's right. You can mix blue. Anyway, yeah, so we're making green, and the opposite of green is red. So if this has a high red content, and actually, no, Mars Black has a high blue content, but these yellows have a high red content, so add that into the green and you just get a much more muted color. Nelson says, yes, please. Yes, yes. Okay. I'm going to blow your minds. I'm going to mix blue paint. I don't want to waste all that black. I'm going to put it back in the tube because I'm tricky like that. I put paint back in the tube all the time. In fact, my tube of white heavy body paint, I haven't bought a tube of white heavy body paint in months because I buy it in like a big tub like this and I just refill it, which takes a lot of time. And so I wait until it's like a meditation time. Yep, I just put that face down on my desk. I'm going to use basics because I don't think I've actually done this with heavy body, and I don't want to be like, look how cool, guys, and then it doesn't work, and you're like, whatever. Okay, so we're going to take some phthalo green and Oh, I gotta think about it for a second. What color is it? Is it quinacridone? I think it's quinacridone. I think Vince is asleep. I think he's snoring. Are you sure? He did fall asleep. Okay, so a little bit of phthalo green. Now, I'm going to show you this, and then I want you guys to tell me, why did it make blue paint? Okay, phthalo green is super strong, so I put out more quinacridone than green. Okay, so some phthalo and some quinacridone. Oh my gosh, look at that. I just made blue paint, you guys. Why did that make blue paint? Okay, that's a little purple, so we'll just pull a little more green in there. Okay, it looks super, I need to set my white balance, because I promise that is, it's kind of it's got a little bit of a purple tint to it, but it's really like a navy blue. Very, very navy. Okay. So why did that make blue? Let's see. Magic. Because phthalo has lots of yellow. But why would that make blue? You don't have quinacridone, Kelly. How do you live? Oh my gosh. You have to have quinacridone. It's a magical color. It is, quinacridone will push your color mixing over the top. There are amazing magical things you can do with quinacridone that you can't do with any other color. I would highly recommend you get some quinacridone. Lots of blue in the phthalo, and the quinacridone, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so both. That is part of it, Nelson. You were on the right track. So the phthalo green has a high blue content. It's green, right? The quinacridone also has a high blue content. It's a very cool color. So we have green with lots of blue, and we have quinacridone with lots of blue. So the other end of those is we've got yellow and we've got red, right? Because there's three primary colors: red, green, yellow, and blue. This one has a higher yellow content than this one. So when we mix these two together, the yellow and the red here, they become orange, right? And they kind of neutralize whatever else might happen in here, and we get a lot of blue because they both have a high blue content. But this is kind of a muted dark blue, and that's because the opposite of blue is orange. When you add a little bit of orange to blue, you get a darker blue. Hence, we get navy blue. Isn't that magic? The first time I did that, I was like, oh, something incredible just happened. And I still think it's incredible every time it happens. So, yes. Yeah, so quite a few of you got it. Let's see. Quinacridone and cad yellow medium make a luscious orange. Deb, you are so right. They make just an absolutely incredible, incredible orange. And if you don't have any Diox purple, some quinacridone mixed with ultramarine or even phthalo blue makes a really deep and beautiful purple. So some of you who have struggled in the past to make really nice purples, I know that mixing purple can be really difficult to do. You need quinacridone if you like to mix purple. Get some quinacridone. It is the only color that ultramarine will make a nice purple with. Okay, so now that I've blown your minds, because I'm amazing like that, does anybody have questions about the green that we used in last week's painting? Or did anybody use a different green? The next part, because there's a lag, so I'm gonna let you guys answer that and I'll come back if anybody answers on that. What was the next thing we did? The next part we did was our tree. I feel like you guys are probably pretty good on trees, right? If anybody struggled with their tree, with the highlights or the branches, shout it out and we can definitely go over that. But I kind of feel like we paint enough trees that you guys probably didn't have too hard of a time with it. Oh yeah, did you hear Mr. Moon? Yep, he woke up. Hey Vince, yeah? Can you bring Mr. Moon in for a visit? Okay. It is kind of a creepy tree, huh, Gwen? Not too creepy, because, you know, the flowers make it less creepy. So let's jump to the flower part of the tree. Now, I know that brush that I used, not everybody has one, and for some reason, Kelly used a liner brush for the branches. The round brush made thick lines. Interesting. For some reason, a lot of people have the hardest time finding these brushes. These are... Oh, he must... Mr. Moon bites. And I think Vince just got bit. Mr. Moon is kind of a jerk. He's cute and we love him, but he's a jerk. Anyway, if you guys have looked for these brushes and you can't find them, you're looking in the wrong spot. I can almost guarantee you that your craft supply store has these. You want to look in the place with like the junk brushes that come in packs of like 85 for 42 cents. Probably not that dramatic, but they're not going to be like in the nice displays, individual. You will not find them there. These are junk brushes. So if anybody used something besides this for the flower parts, I would like to hear about that, hear what you used and how you, Vince is corralling animals over here. Olaf came to say hi too. He keeps getting bit. So Mr. Moon can't come over right now. He's biting. Cats are moody. Yes, and Mr. Moon is weird because he like follows us around the house. Meow, 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 meow. And it's like he's practically screaming, love me, love me, love me. And then you say, oh, okay, I will. And you bend down to love him and he bites. So I don't know. He's weird. Oh, Yvonne got them at the dollar store. I had never even thought to look for art supplies or paint brushes or anything at the dollar store. So yeah, look at your dollar store. And no other questions on that. Man, you guys, it's kind of weird not having the video to watch. I feel like I'm like leading you. Please talk to me. Anyway, I guess the last part was the water. Let's flip this over so we can see the water. I know it's upside down. Tell me about your experience with the water. Or did anybody do something not water? Like I know Tan did Tan did a river in the painting the week before. So I was curious if anybody did something other than the waterfall this week. All of the water that I saw that you guys did just looks incredible. Everybody's done such a great job. I'm really, really pleased with how well everybody's painting turned out on this one. You know, I kind of take that as, I take it as a compliment that I did such a great job teaching you, that you all rocked out these amazing paintings. Did I pick the purple for the leaves to complement the yellow in the grass? So yeah, I did kind of want to, and I mentioned that in the video. I was going for kind of an analogous color scheme. So let me grab my color wheel. An analogous color scheme is when your colors sit next to each other on the color wheel. So like red, red, orange, orange. This would be an analogous color scheme. But you can simplify the color wheel too and say like, you know, red, orange, and yellow. You could say this is an analogous color scheme. And so that's kind of what I wanted. So clearly I wanted green, blue, and purple for this color scheme. So yeah, I did pick that specific, but there's other color schemes too. You know, I saw somebody did the red, and that's awesome. And that works too. It's with something we call split. No, that's not split complementary. I can't remember what it's called. What is it called? I'll have to look back. So what split complementary would be, let's say I've got the green and the blue here. So green and blue. Split complementary would mean I use green and blue and then the complement of each, which would be red and orange. But there's another one, and to the person who did the red tree, I feel like it was somebody here in this group. Yell at me if you did the red tree. That is a color scheme that I can't remember the name of, but it's where you take two colors like this, and you take the color that is directly between them opposite the, on the opposite of the color wheel. So in this case, the blue and the green, the opposite is orange-red. Flip the painting so it's upright. Well, I wanted you to see the water. All right. There. Now you can't see the water, but that's okay. So there's a ton of different color schemes to consider when you're coming up with a painting. You don't just have to say, I have to use the complement to my color. There's a ton of them, and we can go over them at some point. But yes, I wanted an analogous color scheme, so that's why I used the purple. And then when I did the purple, I was like, how many purple trees do I need to paint? But it worked for this week, so I went with it anyway. And are we going to see another fantasy painting this week? No, most likely not. So, okay, let's have a conversation about this week since Gwen's bringing it up. So this week, I actually don't have anything on the schedule for this week. It's been, this has really been kind of a weird time for me while I'm moving out of the studio and, you know, resetting up here and then doing live. And so like everything is just kind of thrown into turmoil right now. And I have more time to paint, but somehow with that comes more pressure. So I don't know. And I've worked super hard this week to try and come up with a painting that I was comfortable with and that I liked and that I thought you guys would like. And it just didn't happen this week. So that said, I would still like to broadcast on Tuesday. I am going to work a little bit more tonight and see if I can come up with something. But at this point, this is pretty late in the week. I don't know that I'm going to be able to come up with anything. So if you have any, you know, like solid ideas of fun things that we could do on Tuesday, I am open to hearing them. Yeah, Kelly, palette knife painting is something that I've been working on trying to develop. So, you know, I think that most people kind of go through phases where it's feast or famine when it comes to, bless you, when it comes to inspiration. You know, sometimes I have so many ideas that I can't get them all out. And then sometimes it's, you know, much more on the famine side. And I'm just like, I mean, of course I could find a reference photo and just paint it. But I am the kind of person that if I am not inspired in some way about something, I can't paint something. I can't just paint something, you know, just to paint it. I just can't. I know that there are people who can. I know a lot of them, but I'm not that way. And the times when I have made myself paint something that I didn't feel some amount of inspiration with, it turned out horrible. And it honestly turned out to be paintings that you guys didn't like. And so I don't want to do that. I don't want to paint something crappy just to have a video. I'd rather have no video in a week than have a painting that I'm not passionate about. Like I said, that said, I do want to broadcast on Tuesday. I'm considering maybe doing a watercolor. You know, maybe it's using a medium that I don't typically use. Maybe that's what will help kind of break me out of it. I don't know. So I'm open to your suggestions while we're here today, and I'll keep working on something tonight. I will let you guys know the very second I know anything about whether or not we'll have a video on Tuesday. Yeah, Deb, I have going through a lot of chaotic energy with all of the changes. And nothing bad. Everything is good. Everything is exciting. You know, I'm happy, and I'm happy with the way that everything is going. But sometimes a lot of changes, and, you know, it takes my brain power, not that there's much there in the first place, but it takes it away and focuses it into other areas, and then I struggle creatively. So with that said, let's talk about something else. Somebody said something about next month, so let's talk about next month. I kind of feel like I'm going to start, because I work 7 days a week. You know, I don't remember the last time I took just a full day off with zero work. I don't remember the last time that happened, even when I was on vacation. And, you know, I've been doing this now for 3 years. So that's a long time to have very few actual whole days off. So I get a little bit behind in some things, whether it's email, which strangely I am caught up on email right now. I have 2 emails in my inbox. This is a big thing for me. So whether it's email that I'm behind on, or whether it's, you know, counting brush inventory or planning ideas, or, you know, there's so many other things that I want to be doing for you guys that I just don't have the time to do. So I think what I'm going to start doing. Okay, do we have, no, I don't have any audio still. Hang on, guys, sorry. Oh, you guys. So that was interesting, wasn't it? Okay. All right, now you can hear me. But it's lagging really bad, so it's probably going to drop me off. I didn't realize that it would come back into the same video, so that's great. Do you guys not hear me still? No sound now. What is this? Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but I'm just gonna keep talking on the off chance that you can hear me. Okay, so I think my computer is probably gonna crash again. I don't know why it crashed, but that really doesn't make me very happy. So what I wanted to tell you was that I'm gonna start working in seasons. So what I mean by that is I'm going to do, several months on, and then I'm going to take a month off. And it's not off work completely. It's off of broadcasting and making videos. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to disappear for a month. It means that I'm just not going to have a regular weekly video. So we can still get together and do these. I want to still do these on a regular basis like we have been. But, they'll be different, obviously, because we won't be talking about a painting that we just did that week. Instead, we can use it as time that you can ask anything you want. Maybe I'll show you what I have been working on, kind of give you updates about some of the things that I'm working on. And, I'll be able to work on my blog. That's something that I really want to kind of get going and work on. But it's so hard right now when every day I feel like I need to be painting. That's my top priority. Everything else gets pushed to the side. Obviously, I'll still be painting in that time and producing video content, planning out what I'll be doing when I come back. But it's just going to be twice a year, and I feel like summer is kind of slow. And honestly, summer imagery like bright beaches and bright, hot, sunny days don't inspire me. So I have a hard time being inspired in the hot part of the summer anyway. So I think probably here in the next couple weeks, if not starting next week, I will probably start my first, we're going to call them season breaks. So for 4 weeks, I won't put out any videos. And then I'll do another one in December for obvious reasons. I think a lot of you guys don't have time to paint during the holiday season anyway. Views go way down then, so there's a lot fewer people painting. And, I want to spend time with my friends and family around the holidays too. So I kind of feel like we'll do a kind of a summer-winter break. And I think that will be really exciting. There's a lot of things I've wanted to do that I will be able to do. I'll have the time to do. And I'll be able to maybe get a couple of videos in my pocket in case something like where I am right now, where I have no ideas for next week's video comes along. I can just pop in this video that I've had recorded for a little while. And maybe I can even start calendaring and saying, okay, we're going to do this, and this month, rather than kind of working at the breakneck pace that I have been for the last 3 years, which I thought, oh, I'm good. I don't need a break. I love what I do. So who needs a break? Well, yeah, I do need to, settle the pace just a little bit so that I can get ahead and maintain it. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And I'm really excited about it. And I don't want you guys to think that this is me saying, I'm just not going to make videos anymore. Because, no, that's not the case. I feel like this is what I was meant to do. So I am not stopping. Does that entail the thing we've heard about called getting out of the house? Yeah, maybe once in a while we'll be able to get out of the house. Yeah, so I need to count out my seasons and just kind of give everybody a heads up about when this season is going to end, when the next season is going to start. If Game of Thrones can do seasons, I just won't take a year and a half off in between seasons, because that sucks. You hear me? Game of Thrones? That sucks. Anyway. Debbie asks, is she taking a break? Debbie, just real quick recap. You can wind up and listen afterwards. I'm going to start working in seasons and just taking like a month off of broadcasting twice a year. So I'll still be here for you guys. We'll still do our weekly things. I'll still be producing content and doing other things. Oh, we'll probably have brush sales during that time. Maybe. We'll see. For this first one, at least, we'll have brush sale because I don't want you guys to forget about me. But yeah, so we're going to do that. I think it's going to be exciting. I'm really excited about it. Tell the truth. don't know what I'm lying about. See, I'm glad you guys are with me on the Game of Thrones things. Okay, guys, my computer is quite possibly going to blue screen again, but until it does, I'm here for you. So let me know any other questions you have, and we will stay in chat. If my computer blue screens again, we probably will just let it go. But yeah, throw questions at me if you've got them. Nelson, I see a BSOD in your future. I have no idea what that means. So if you just made me say something really inappropriate, shame on you. But yeah. You're going to co-star with Elizabeth Moss in a new movie. That's hilarious. I do need to get a picture in my Halloween costume. My Handmaid's Tale Halloween costume. I need to do that. Oh, the blue screen of death. Yeah, it is gonna blue screen of death. I do need a new computer. I do. This one's about 2.5 years old. In fact, I bought this computer with my very first paycheck from YouTube. I was super excited. So yeah, this computer is about 2.5 years old. The computer that I really want has been announced, but it hasn't been released yet, and there's no release date on it yet. So as soon as they give us a release date, I'll be able to find out how much it is and start saving for it. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Vince, we will do that probably closer to Halloween. So what else, guys? Any other questions? Does anybody have any cool color theory things that you can share with us? Kind of like I shared with you how to make blue paint. If you've got any other cool techniques like that, I would love to hear them. Show me how you make something cool like blue paint. Nobody? Debbie, did you see that painting of you painting the Zen tree? I have not. Guys, I'm so behind on my notifications. As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna let my computer take a little bit of a 5-minute break, and I'll go through my notifications and I will go see. Can we do another directed painting sometime? Yeah, that's the $15 Patreons. That's a monthly thing that we do. So we'll be doing that later on this month. I typically like to do those right around the second to last Saturday of the month. So we'll probably do that on the 23rd. So not next Saturday, the Saturday after. Will we? Yeah. Yes, the 23rd. Yeah, I'm not painting portraits, Mom. What is a directed painting? So the live directed paintings is something I've been doing with the $15 patrons. We did one last month with everybody $5 and up. Basically, I pick a number between 1 and whatever and tell you guys to give me a suggestion and pick a number, and then we paint that. That's actually how... I can never remember what I call my paintings, guys. The still life with the purple flowers and the cotton. That's actually how that painting came about, was from one of our directed paintings. So, yeah. So I'm sure we'll do another one this month. So, yeah, you guys the YouTube sponsors, the Patreon, I don't want you guys to feel like I'm going to be like, peace. Thanks for your contributions this month, but you're not getting anything for it. So we will still get together and do our viewing parties and our directed paintings and all of that stuff. So, yeah. No, guys, don't do both Patreon and YouTube. Pick one. Yes, June, not July. Sorry. Jump back. She needs a new computer. Donna. No. Guys, One or the other, seriously. I appreciate the support more than you know, but, you know, I can't give you there's no way that I can give you twice the perks. So it makes me feel bad to know that some of you are paying for 2 different ones and you're only getting the perks of one, because I don't know how to differentiate and give you the perks of 2. And I'll do both if I want to. Wow, Deb, you sound like my mom. She pretty much said the exact same thing to me. See? Deb and my mom are way too much alike, and that's not making me very happy. Welcome, Pat. We're getting ready to wrap up, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Eileen's asking about different YouTube levels. I wouldn't be surprised. I doubt that Google would ever turn down the opportunity to make more money. But yeah, I don't have information on that. I'm not the boss of you, Debbie. Oh my gosh. Ouch. Oh, you guys are so sweet. You guys make me so happy. I appreciate it. Thank you. Except for Deb and my mom are making friends and high-fiving over my head. And oh, you guys are going to embarrass me. I have a really hard time taking compliments, and I never know what to say. Like, I always say that to Vince, and he's like, just say thank you. I'm like, yeah, but that feels really inadequate. Thank you. To me, that feels like, I know, and so I never know what to say. But thank you to everybody. Oh, you guys are going to make me blush, and I'm not a blusher. I don't blush. Okay, you guys, any other questions? Give me some questions, and then I'm going to go shut down my computer and let it think about what it did for a few minutes before I start shipping brushes and everything. So, all right. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, then I'm going to take off and let this poor computer take a nap, I suppose. But yes, everyone, thank you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being so supportive. Thank you for being so sweet. And yeah, I promise that even with breaks, I will not forget about you and let you fall by the wayside. We will still be besties, and I will still see you on a weekly basis. So I will let you know as soon as I know what we're doing Tuesday, if anything. I really would. My preference is to broadcast, so, but not if I don't have nothing. So, all right, guys, I will see you later. So have a good rest of your Sunday.